Hello Krima and welcome back to another episode of A Day in the Life of that brings you closer to the evolving world of healthcare, pharmaceuticals and beyond. I'm your host Nupur Terekar from AISSMS College of Pharmacy, and today's episode is all about a field that's getting incredible momentum in the industry, medical affairs. Joining me today are two brilliant professionals who are making waves in this space, and I'm proud to say that they're also a fellow alumni. We have with us Mr.Sushrut Oza and Mr. Atharva Kulkarni. Mr. Sushrut is a medical advisor currently working at ERIS Lifesciences, Ahmedabad, handling the gynecology and pediatrics division, and Mr. Atharva working as a dynamic expert in the medical affairs domain.
First of all, thank you, Nupur, for the kind words and the introduction. It's great to be here again at AISSMS College of Pharmacy. It's great to reconnect with this college again, and it feels good to share my insights with the fellow juniors, the upcoming generation of budding pharmacists.
Thank you, Nupur, and thank you for inviting us to this podcast. And it's always fun to be here and back to our college. So thank you for also reigniting those memories. So yeah.
Thank you so much. Now let us begin with the questions. So let's start with the basics. Most of our listeners are budding young science students. So can you explain what exactly is medical affairs and how it fits into the pharmaceutical industry?
Okay, so let's start with an example. You go to hospitals. Whenever you go to a hospital, you will find a medical representative there. He is retailing a particular product to the doctor using his iPads or using some literature material. And doctor is listening to it, and then doctor will prescribe that product. So this is a general process in the hospital. So the question is, the material that he is showcasing to the doctor, who prepares that? So it's a collaborative approach, collaborative effort between two teams at the head office of a pharma company. The first is medical affairs team, and second one is the marketing team. So the function of medical affairs team is to provide scientific inputs. The scientific inputs that we have provided to the marketing team will then frame it into a format that is effective, that can be effectively communicated with the doctors. And that is basically the function of medical affairs. It's not a monotonous job. There are multiple responsibilities. So medical affairs means science, pharmacology, and it's not a monotonous job. Multiple responsibilities are there. As we move ahead with the podcast, we'll understand those responsibilities too.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think adding up to what he said, for me, or the way I look at medical affairs is like it's a bridging link. It's a link between, or rather a link extending from R&D. Like whenever there is an R&D of any molecule or a drug or any ingredient, any product, any rationale, any combination, and you're bringing it to the market. So that journey that any molecule takes from the R&D or the lab to the market, where it is being promoted to the consumers or the doctors, in this entire journey, medical affairs is a very big link, and it plays a very important role to assist in multiple aspects. So for a medical affairs person, it's not just about, doing one aspect, as he said, that it's a dynamic thing or it's not a monotonous thing, because you have to be very well versed with the science, the research that has been done for any molecule or any ingredient, and taking that science, taking that knowledge, you have to take it towards the market and showcase it in a way that can be acceptable and understandable to the market. So that entire journey, I would say, rests upon the shoulders of a medical affairs person.
That's great. Now, both of you come from a strong pharmaceutical background. What attracted you personally to medical affairs, and how did your academic journey guide you through it?
So basically, I always enjoyed giving presentations, whether I was in my master's, whether I was in my bachelor's. So I enjoyed the fact that making complex things simpler and make it into a language that a person will understand it. So when I was in my master's, I used to actively participate in the presentations, seminars that were organized in the college. I used to take part in various functions. So that thing, communication was the first thing that I was very good at. Second, I was very much interested in teaching aspect. So I love to make complex things simpler. So our teachers encouraged us always to interact with alumni of our college. So during 2023 alumni meet, I happened to meet Atharva. He was working in medical affairs at that time, and I got to know what the role of medical affairs is from him, and it excited me. Then I decided that if I get a chance, then I'll love to have a career in this domain.
That's great.
Yeah, I think I was not as lucky as he was, but because I never got that kind of an guidance, or maybe that kind of exposure, I would say, unfortunately, towards medical affairs, that what medical affairs is. And because that time what we used to know about pharma is only R&D and marketing. That's the only things that we used to know about. And we would, for us, pharma was divided into these two departments only. So it was like you choose this or you choose that. So we never knew about anything else. So actually, when I joined the corporate, I joined in a scientific business development role. And I was not in medical affairs. But then when I started my work, when I started interacting with other departments, when I started understanding what all things are there in the pharma industry and in a company, or what runs a pharmaceutical company, that's when I understood that I am not meant for business development or for marketing, but I'm meant for medical affairs, because that's where my expertise and my skills and my interest lies. So that was kind of a transition that I had into medical affairs.
That's great insight. So let's get into your daily life now. Atharva sir and Sushrut sir, how does your day-to-day look in your current role as a medical affairs professional, and what is your role specifically about?
Okay. So answering to that question, as I have already said, that it's not a monotonous job. There are multiple responsibilities involved in this job role, like suggesting and evaluating new products for portfolio expansion. Second one is we need to train the newly joined medical representatives in our companies. So in a month, we dedicate 3 to 4 days for training the newly joined medical reps. The third one is medical marketing support. So we have a portfolio. Suppose I'm handling gynec and pedia portfolio. We have multiple drugs in our portfolio. So if there is a new update regarding our product, if there is a scientific update, suppose a guideline has recommended our product for a particular indication. So we keep watch on that. And when we get to that guideline, we forward it to our marketing team, so that marketing team can utilize it as a promotional material. Along with it, we write review articles for the company. So basically, suppose we have a product. I'll take an example. We have a product metformin plus myonistal for PCOS. So I have written an article on how metformin plus myonistal has a synergistic effect, which is better than the metformin alone. So we publish it in good journals. Then marketing team utilizes it as a promotional material to communicate with the doctors. So doctors will get to know that what is the benefit of that dual combination than the single combination, than the single drug product. Then the next responsibility is whenever we launch a new product. So at that time, we need to train all the medical representatives, all the sales team throughout the India. So we have to prepare slides for that. We have to take training sessions for that. We also need to train the marketing team so that they understand what the product is. So if they understand, they can market it well. So this is another responsibility. Then we support our regulatory team for dossier preparations. So whenever we seek a new product approval, so regulatory team at that point of time prepare a dossier. So in that dossier, they require non-clinical and clinical aspects of a particular drug. So we do that. We often interact with healthcare professionals. Suppose a doctor's patient has got a reaction, an adverse drug reaction using our product. So he'll report it to the sales team. Sales team will contact us. I will talk personally with the doctor. I'll assess the situation, that what might have gone wrong, whether the product is expired, whether there are any flaws in the administration of the drug. So we'll assess that. And after assessing, we'll forward all this information to the pharmacovigilance team. So we are also a bridge between a pharmacovigilance team and doctors, the healthcare professionals. Apart from that, we attend various conferences. At the various conferences, we meet many doctors there. We take insights on the new product launches, that whether XYZ drug will be better than the existing therapy. We are planning to launch it. Yeah. What's your view on that? So we ask such kind of questions to the doctors. Then these are the responsibilities, overall responsibilities that we work upon.
Yeah. I think he has covered most of it, and as he said, query handling is a very important aspect for a medical affairs person, because whenever it's like, as I said, that it's a bridging link between R&D and marketing. Yes. But your role does not end once it's marketed. Your role keeps on going, or I rather feel that medical affairs is a department or a function that keeps on going for eternity. Absolutely. It can never stop. It's not like you have finished your R&D, so now you're out of the molecule. No, you have to keep on reading up stuff about the molecule. You have to keep on building your knowledge. You have to be updated with the recent things, because tomorrow, whenever there would be a query, tomorrow if you're planning to launch maybe an extension, you're planning to launch something else related to that molecule, you should be aware of all of that. And it's also your responsibility to probably suggest it to your marketing team or to your business development team that, maybe we should consider launching a product in an extension. Maybe you add something to the current product and make an extension of it. Along with that, an important aspect of medical affairs is interacting with KOLs, as he said, hosting advisory boards, or maybe international speaker programs, ISPs or CMEs, which are very important, I feel, as a medical affairs person, because it's very, informative for us also to get more information. Plus, I feel that it's very good for the doctors, because they also get a lot of information from these conferences and these meetings, because they are not much aware of the drug aspect. They are not that much updated on it. We are the source, we are the direct source for them. So those conferences are very important for them. Also, maybe medical affairs might also play a role in designing protocols for clinical studies, preclinical studies, publishing studies once they are conducted. As he said, writing review articles is very important. Writing research articles is very important. And training is a very essential aspect of medical affairs, for your internal as well as external stakeholders. So yeah, I think that's more or less. I'm sorry, I'll add one more point. Yeah. That it's also, I have personally felt what's more important, or one of the important aspects which I feel is somewhere missing to a certain extent in the medical affairs field, is the ability to do medico marketing. So as he also said that medico marketing is the activity that we do, I feel that is something that medical affairs people should definitely build themselves on, the future generations, and they should kind of think in that direction also, because it's a very important aspect for a product to have a good scientific story, for it to sell, and it also to make sense. Because marketing people might not always be from a scientific background or from a pharma background, and that's fine, because their role is not to build the science. That's our role. So I feel that medical affairs people should also step into those shoes and do medico marketing activities more often and build scientific stories nicely.
Yes, that makes sense. Yeah. So the working in medical affairs sounds dynamic. And what are some of the most exciting parts of your role? Like, is it scientific exchange or collaborations, something else? Also, on the flip side, what are some of the biggest challenges in your job, and how do you manage those things?
See, the most exciting part that I find in medical affairs is opportunity to learn continuously. So every project we work upon, every product launch that we work upon, we improvise ourselves. We get new knowledge. We improvise ourselves as a professionals. So that is the one thing. Second thing, I love to communicate. I love to teach. So that's my passion, and I've got a right stream that my passion, I'm able to utilize my passion in my professional life. So that's the second thing. Talking about the challenges, there are some challenges also. See, training is one of our part that we take care of. Training of newly joined medical representatives. So many times what happens is that the medical representatives that are joining our company, they are not from science background. So some person might be from engineering background, some person might be from arts background. So we get 4 days. So in the span of 4 or 5 days, we need to teach him pathophysiology of the disease. We need to teach him anatomy. We need to teach him how a drug will act. Also, we need to teach him how to counter a competitor's narrative. So that becomes challenging sometimes, but when they grasp something, it's also rewarding that they have grasped that concept. Along with it, pharma cells, if you talk about pharma cells, it's unique because it is the only selling profession where the customer, that is doctor, knows better about the product than the person who is actually selling it. So we need to train them at that level that they communicate that particular literature, whatever has been given to them, material, they communicate that to the doctors. So we need to train them at that level. So it becomes challenging sometimes, but as I have said, that it is rewarding also. Then another challenge is there are many products which are completely science-based products. So we need to, now we want to deliver it to the doctors. We want to deliver a certain communication to the doctors. So many times we need to think out of the box. So this approach, so this part is also a challenging part, but this leads us to think more, think out of the box, and that's fun actually. So I feel the challenges are fun in this domain.
I think for me, medical affairs has been exciting through and through. Everything that I do and have been doing is always fun. And also, I have always been involved in multiple therapies since the beginning. I have never restricted to a single therapy. So for me, that has always kept me on toes, and that's always been fun because every project or everything that I do is going to be of something else. So it's never, monotonous or tomorrow I have to go back and work on the same product. It's always different for me. Every day is different, and that's why it's much more exciting. And as he also rightly said, that's why we are constantly reading stuff. We are constantly getting more and more knowledge because as I'm involved in multiple therapies, I have to also keep reading about multiple therapies because I have to be equally, strong, and I have to have my scientific strength in all those therapies. So it's also on me that I have to keep reading it. So by default, you go on gaining a lot of knowledge. Plus, I have to interact with all those types of doctors of all those therapies. So from there also, you get a lot of knowledge. So that has always been exciting. Plus, as he also said, and I have also been a person who loves teaching. I love talking, as you guys might have realized. Yeah. So I love teaching, I love talking, I love communicating. And that's always been a passion for me since college. And that I get to do here. So I think, as he also said, I was just thinking about this fact that for people who like to teach but want to be in corporate, medical affairs is a good place to be because you get to teach but also be in corporate. Right. So that's what we get to do. And challenges wise, I have never felt anything as big of a challenge to make it an answer here. But I personally feel like something that you need to tolerate as a medical affairs person, or you might have to get along with, is dealing with the internal team dynamics. Because every team or every department in the company has different goals and every different targets, and they have different routes or paths to achieve those targets, which might not always be aligning with the medical affairs team, or which might not always be acceptable to the medical affairs team. But of course, we have to also understand their targets. We also have to understand that it's their work also. And we have to somewhere come to a middle ground and, communicate effectively and ethically that what is right, what is not, how much we can, probably bend the rules. But I think that has to be done very nicely and patiently. So patience and communication, I feel effective communication is very important there. For the internal team dynamics, I feel that is something that you need to, I don't feel it's a challenge, but I think that's something you need to work on once you enter this field.
That's true. So what I can say is communication seems like a big part of your job. So especially with healthcare professionals and other internal teams, as explained. So how important are soft skills in medical affairs, and how did you develop them?
See, soft skills are paramount. Soft skills and communication are paramount in medical affairs. If you don't have it, then you'll not be able to survive in medical affairs. It's a paramount. So we interact with a lot of professionals, a lot of stakeholders, internal stakeholders like marketing team, regulatory team, market support team. So many internal stakeholders we communicate. External stakeholders like we have our healthcare professionals, that is doctors. So we communicate with them. So it is important that you have a good communication skills to be able to do your best in medical affairs stream. Personally speaking, I was not very much good in the communication till my 12th standard. I started watching English news channels at that time, and that ultimately improved my communication skills. Specifically talking about English, I learned new words, and specifically I would like to tell this to my juniors that start watching English news channels 10 minutes at least daily, and specifically at the times of 8 and 9 p.m. because that is the time when India's best anchors deliver the news. So you get to know their tone, you get to know how they present a news, what are their voice modulations. So all these things you get to know. Along with it, you get to know the new English words, and ultimately your communication skills, your soft skills do improvise. You get to know how they dress. So those are the small things which ultimately improve your personality. So that's what helped me a lot in building my communication skills. Along with it, during my master's, bachelor's, did a lot of presentations, actively participated in the college activities, did a lot of anchorings. So that improvised my communication overall, and I feel these are all the things that will help you.
Yeah, I think as he said, you cannot survive the corporate without good communication and soft skills, because and that's not just for medical affairs, it's rather in any field that you're in the corporate, because you constantly have to talk, you constantly have to communicate, if not verbally, over mail, over message, over something, right? Or maybe by letters, something. You have to constantly keep communicating. So you have to be good at it, because that's your first impression.
Right.
And specifically talking about medical affairs, it is very much important, because as you must have also heard from our answers, that we are constantly talking to some or the other team, some or the other person. And as I also said about the range of what we are handling, we are talking to doctors, we are talking to MRs, we are talking to internal teams, we are talking to probably R&D people, research people. So when you are a link between such a huge journey, you have to talk to multiple people of different scientific backgrounds, different understanding of science, different understanding of all these technical terms. So tomorrow you might be talking to a doctor who is probably experienced for 50 years in his field, and the next day you might be talking to an MR who might not even be from a pharma background or a scientific background. He might not even understand what the therapy itself means. But then you have to be well equipped or well versed with your communication and your soft skills, that you should be able to communicate with them both properly. So the one aspect of it is that your scientific knowledge should be strong, because that is going to help you communicate nicely with your scientific stakeholders like doctors or clients or anything. But you also should be able to effectively concise and simplify that knowledge in a language that an MR can understand, or someone who's not from a scientific background can understand. So that is the range of soft skills and communications that you need to have. Now, how I build it, since my childhood, I've always watched English movies, English shows. I mean, news is amazing, but I would suggest watch English movies, watch English shows. I feel nowadays, I don't feel that must be an issue for people, because people watch a lot of Netflix and everything. And that's good. I feel that's good, because that's also going to help you build your English language. I hope you're paying attention to that though. It's not just for fun, because that's what I used to do. When I used to watch English movies as a child, if I would come across a word which I did not understand, I would immediately go to the dictionary and I would see what that word is. Or I would probably ask my English teacher in school what this word means. And that's how you build your vocabulary. That's how you build your communication. When you're in college, or even when you're in school, when you're in college, participate in as many presentation competitions, presentations or elocution, extempore. All these things help you. So also write articles, maybe scientific articles, review articles, research articles in your, maybe B.Pharm or M.Pharm, or even normal articles, maybe blogs. These all things also help you build your communication. And every time you do something like that, always have someone critique it. Because unless and until you don't get it criticized from someone, you will never learn. And you will never understand where you're going wrong or where you need to improve. So, and because that's what I generally find, that people have good communication, but they have grammatical mistakes. Yeah. And the only reason why that happens is because they are not getting it criticized from someone initially. And they have just now fixated in their minds that this is right. So whenever you're doing something, whenever you're working on something, always have a third person to view it, review it, and tell their opinion or tell you your mistakes. Because that's what is going to help you. So, yeah.
There are a lot of curious minds listening. So, what for a career in medical? So, what skill, courses, or experiences would you recommend they focus on? Now, as you rightly said in your previous answer also, but other than that, and with such rapid technological advancement nowadays, what is the role of medical affairs changing, and where will it stand in the future? And what can the future students even expect?
So, as we have discussed earlier, communication is the most essential part. Second one is you should have a good hand on PowerPoint, because you need to prepare a lot of slides during your job work. So, an excellent hand on PowerPoint. Along with it, I would suggest to all the juniors to get an internship during your masters. You get to know what is theory and what is practical. So what practically happens, you understand that. So during my masters, I did an internship at Synergin Bio. So that helped me to understand the clinical trial process. Apart from that, regarding the courses, there should not be any limit to course when you are a student. Okay. So personally speaking, during my bachelor's, I did a course in Advanced Excel. During my masters, I did a course on intellectual property rights. After that, I did a bridge course on drug regulatory affairs, bridge course on pharmacovigilance, bridge course in medical writing. So these courses I have done, they help me to understand all the aspects in the pharmaceutical industry. And ultimately, what happens is that these kind of courses correlates with your current job somewhere. Apart from that, a course by NIDA, a good clinical practice GCP course by NIDA. It's a freely available course which will give you an insight about clinical trials. So I have done that also. So personally, when I was doing those courses, I was not aiming for any job. But today, when I'm doing my job, these courses ultimately help me somewhere in my current job role. So to my juniors, don't have any limit to the courses that you do. Do every possible course if you think that course will help you, and if you're interested in that course, do that. It will help you somewhere in the future. So that's about the courses.
Yeah, I think what he said was very right, because as much as you learn and as much as you do, it's never going to go waste. So do as many things as you can, because I feel that in medical affairs, as he said, that we need to use PowerPoint a lot. And I feel not just PowerPoint, but learn everything related to Microsoft. Excel, learn how to use Office, learn how to use everything, even Outlook, because these things do help. The shortcuts, it makes your work easier in Excel especially, or even in PowerPoint. When you know shortcuts, when you know things that, that speed up your work, it's going to help you tomorrow. Secondly, I would say that when you're in your college time, focus a lot on literature survey. How to do a literature survey, what are the tools for literature survey, what are the faster ways or methods to do a literature survey, how to identify whether or rather I would say that what prompt you should give for Google, the keywords that you should put for the paper that you're looking for, all those things you should know, because this is what is going to be very helpful when you go into medical affairs, right? That is something which is very important, right? So, learn literature survey, learn how to read a clinical study, learn how to read a preclinical study, and maybe an in vitro study, in vivo study. Learn these things, because I have faced these things, or I've seen in many medical affair professionals, that people don't understand these things. People don't understand what does it mean. So this is not something, I'm not complaining. I'm not saying that it's bad or it's wrong, because if you have not being taught that, you won't know. But then you need to also put in efforts to learn by yourself. You need to read more articles, you need to understand, you need to ask people what does this mean, you need to have discussions. Also, if you can get a hands on certain softwares like statistical softwares or citation softwares like Mendeley or something like that, then understand that. If there's a course on something like that, do that. Because all these things are always going to help you in your CV and resume. As he rightly said, if you can do a course on regulatory affairs or pharmacovigilance, that's always going to be beneficial in medical affairs, having a knowledge of regulatory and pharmacovigilance, because these are the things that somewhere go hand in hand with medical affairs. So if you have knowledge about that too, it's cherry on the top. So it's never going to go waste.
That is very useful. So here's today's final question for the both of you. If you could give one golden piece of advice to your younger self, just starting with the real world, what could it be?
In the initial phase of your career, don't look for work-life balance. Prefer work-life integration. But along with it, enjoy your life, explore new places, be honest, be integral, and be fiercely loyal to whatever work you're doing. Right. So that's the advice that I'll give.
That's great.
I don't know, honestly. It's a kind of difficult question for me, because but I think an advice that I would have given to my younger self is that know your worth and don't settle for less. Don't settle for what people say that you deserve. Know your worth, know what you deserve, and ask for it. Because I think that's where somewhere I think I would have made some mistakes, that I felt that everyone is good in the world, but that's not the case. And you need to stand your ground, and you need to tell people upfront that this is what I am worth of and this is what I deserve, so I should get it. So that is something I feel is important in the real world. And in general, what I generally suggest, or an advice that I give to my juniors in general, is that enjoy your life. Because that is an advice I feel most of the people in the younger generations need, because they are too much stressed out about everything. And enjoy life. And even your work has to be a part of your enjoyment. If you're not able to enjoy your work, if you're coming home after a day's work and if you don't feel happy about it, or if you don't feel happy going back to the same work the next day, you should not do that work. Okay, you should find something else that you really like to do and really do that. It's not difficult. There's no compulsion. Nobody's forcing you to stay in something that you don't enjoy doing. So be happy and enjoy what you're doing. But whatever you're doing that you enjoy, do it with full dedication and hard work, right? Don't, I would say, don't steal the effort or don't compromise there. Give everything that you have got, but only give everything that you have got to something that you enjoy and that actually gives you happiness. And live a little, enjoy life, have adventures, experience stuff. Because why I'm saying this is because that is also part of your learning. Because the more you experience, the more you go out in life, in the world, the more you explore, the more you gain knowledge and the more enlightenment you get, which is ultimately going to help in your life. So if you just stick to one thing in your life and you just keep doing that every day, that's the only thing you're going to have knowledge about, which does not help in the real world. You need to have knowledge about everything. And to have knowledge about everything, you have to go out and you have to see the world, you have to experience, explore, and have adventures. So have fun.
Yes.
That's the way of living.
Right. So those words were actually really near sense.
Yeah.
And coming this from our fellow alumni. So it's from the same ground,
Yeah.
the same path every year. It's very relatable.
Right.
And so these were a set of questions. So before we wrap up, let's have a little fun segment to just use the energy and with a rapid fire round. So just a this or that question and no overthinking.
Okay, thank you.
So ready?
Do we have an option of tackling the question?
Passing.
Passing the
You can say
question.
both or none. Early bird or a night out.
Night out.
Early bird.
Okay. PowerPoint or written minutes.
Written notes.
Quick.
Written notes.
Really?
Yeah.
Now why did you say PowerPoint in your answers? Okay. A conference in Goa or a conference in Dubai?
Both.
I thought there were no controversial questions. Why not both?
Huh?
Why not both?
Okay, fine. Your choice.
But I've been to Goa, so probably Dubai.
Okay.
A planner or go with the flow?
Go with the flow.
I've always got to go with a flow person. So,
Team lunch or solo coffee break?
Solo coffee break.
team lunch.
Okay. Ranangan or Sparnan?
Spandan.
Ranangan.
Okay. One teacher from college who inspired you the most?
Tina ma'am. Controversial.
Yeah, I have to think so that nobody else feels bad. Who inspired?
Yeah. Not your cricket, inspired.
Okay.
You're needing too much.
I would say.
Too many teachers.
Salima.
That's great. Okay. Name one extracurricular from college that helped you crack your interview. Anyone?
Podcast.
Okay.
Honestly, I cracked my interview by saying that I'm a dancer. So I don't know what extracurricular activity it's counted. But I think, yeah, the fact that I was present in a lot of stuff while being at college. So probably, being a cultural secretary, being in NSS, being in everything was something that probably impressed people that, okay, he is a all-rounder.
Okay, so if you had to describe your job in one sentence, what would it be?
Continuous learning.
Nice.
Science, fun, and education.
That's great. Okay. Your Urdu stress busting activity.
See, dance is my constant activity. So I don't know if I should consider it as a stress busting because it is, I'm constantly doing that. But apart from dance, I would say probably cooking.
That's great.
Yeah.
Trekking
Wow.
first and bike rides.
Nice.
Yeah, even actually car rides. I would love to go on car rides. So car rides and cooking.
That's great.
Not together, of course, but
Okay, so last one. If not a pharmacist, what would you rather be?
Lawyer.
Okay.
a chef or a full-time dancer.
Again,
Yes.
very relatable.
Yeah. I mean, I can still be, but I mean, if not, then I would have been that otherwise.
This was great.
Yeah.
And it was such a fun round. You all were truly incredible. And with this note, I would like to extend my gratitude to Sushrut sir and Atharva sir. And thank you so much for joining us today and giving your time. So this has been a valuable experience for our listeners and for me, obviously. So we surely do have legendary alumni.
I'm sure.
We are sure. Thank you so much for having us here.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I think it was very much fun. And I'm really glad that we could make medical affairs such a scientific and such a technical field fun for people, I hope. So, because that's what at least I believe in and I stand for, that you don't need to look at science or technical stuff in such a seriousness. It can still have fun. You guys can still have fun. It doesn't mean that you're a medical affairs or a doctor. It means that you have to be serious.
Right.
You can still be fun. We are all humans. So I mean, this has been great. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you.
All right. And to our listeners, thanks for tuning in to A Day in the Life of. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Stay curious, stay inspired, and we'll see you in the next episode.